Hello and welcome back to Eggs and Music for a Film, a podcast breaking down some of Hollywood's most recent releases. I'm your host, Ken Perry, and again with me is our co-host, Phil Bittner. Phil, what's up?
Oh, go Steelers.
Go Steelers, you pulled it out.
Boy.
AFC North is clinched once again.
Yeah, we had to wait till week 16 to clinch over the Cleveland Browns. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, after starting 11-0, or right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Playoffs couldn't come at a better time. This season has to be done.
Yeah, well, I don't really expect too much out of them anymore, but they kept things interesting until just a few weeks before hockey, so
right.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. And you know what? We'll take it as a good, turn of phrase, because we're going to talk today about the best films of the year of our Lord 2020.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that any other year probably doesn't make this list.
Right. So, Phil, how hard was it for you to put this list together today or in days prior?
Without having any memories of going to movie theaters, it was kind of hard to track down which movies I've seen. I just had to keep looking at lists of 2020 releases and just writing down the ones I liked.
Right. Yep.
There was a new Tremors movie.
That's your... Don't give us your number one already, Phil.
My number one is the 6 rewatches of They Live that I had this year. It's the best movie I've seen in 2020, 2019, 2018. It's got a long streak.
25-year streak or so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in a serious note, man, I have to say when I sat down to do this, like you said, it was rough, and I have to say this is the definition of an asterisk year, especially with in regards to this podcast. This is an exercise in futility here. This top list of our top 5 of 2020. You got to take this with a grain of salt, and man, I'm gonna reserve my right now to change my list up until March or April of 2021.
Yeah, right.
If the Oscars get an extension, Phil, so are we. And the reason I'm saying that is, I certainly partially on me. I've missed a lot of the big releases this year, for sure. And a lot of it's due to, not everything's going to be on, Netflix, Amazon Prime,
it's
Hulu.
Tough to pay $30 to rent a movie for 48 hours.
Yeah, man. I yesterday I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rent Tenet. I'm gonna watch it. But it was $20. I knew Kaylee was gonna hate it, and I've just heard just not the best shit about it. It's insanely confusing, almost like Christopher Nolan wanted to be confusing on purpose. It made Tenet look
Christopher Nolan would never do that.
Yeah, right. It made Tenet very straightforward. I missed out on Nomadland's not going to be available anywhere until February. I was excited about One Night in Miami. That came out on Christmas Day, but I don't see it on any of the major streaming services. I should be a little bit more up on this. I just discovered late last night that Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always is on Hulu. I'm going to watch that immediately. So just a lot of the major ones that you've probably seen when you were looking at these lists of, the top releases of the year, they're a little harder to track down. And, in this last week, with the holiday and everything, I ran out of some time to see some stuff at the last minute. So,
yeah,
again,
I realized last night that there's a whole bunch of 2020 movies that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, so we're going to take these lists here this year with a grain of salt, and as long as next year's a little bit better, we'll return to we'll return to normal, hopefully, at least by the end of 2021.
Yeah, it'll all be all right once we can live stream ourselves from the theater seeing the Batman.
Absolutely. All right, so Phil, do you want to kick this off with your number five?
Yeah, so first, like I said, I took down a bunch, and then I had to narrow them down into a top five. So first, I'm just gonna do blow through a couple honorable mentions here. Horse Girl was a Netflix original. It was pretty good. It was actually written mostly by Alison Brie, who also starred in it. And
Oh, nice.
it just like she's going through like lost time events and stuff. And
Is it a comedy or is it more serious?
it's like a sci-fi drama type. It's weird. It's a strange movie. It's you'd be forgiven for not enjoying it. But yeah, that's a good one. Coffee and Kareem. It's Ed Holmes
Yeah.
and yeah, with the little kid, and it's a comedy action movie. It's a good one. Uh, it's pretty basic, like buddy cop, not worth digging into.
Right.
The Old Guard it starred Charlize Theron. It was also a Netflix movie. It's basically a bunch of mercenaries who, when they die, they come back until eventually they all like at some point die and don't come back. I guess. Uh, like just the opening scene, they go to like break into this place and they just get torn apart by bullets. And as they're on the ground, suddenly the wounds start to close up and they get right back up. And
Hmm.
that opening scene just set a good pace, and that was a fun one. Birds of Prey. I love when DC actually makes a watchable movie. It doesn't happen all
Was
the
it a
time.
was it a watchable movie? I've heard pretty much otherwise from everywhere else.
Well, yeah, everyone else is wrong. No, I don't know. It's different. I can get people not liking it, but I enjoyed it a lot. It had a lot of cool visual stuff to it. Like as they're talking, like there would be drawings animating like a summary of a story they're telling.
Yeah.
Um,
Were there a lot of characters from Suicide Squad in that, like returns or anything, or was it just basically a
yeah,
brand new
not
movie?
really. It was mostly Harley Quinn and then her meeting the Birds of Prey and like kind of how
Okay.
they
Was
all
it a
came
prequel
together.
or was is it a prequel or is it after
It
take
takes
place after?
place after Suicide Squad. Harley Quinn and the Joker are broken up, and she's like learning to live her own life. She's
Is
still got
Leto
her
in it?
pet hyenas. No, the only reference they have to the Joker is a drawing, and it doesn't look like Leto's Joker. So hopefully
Good.
that means he's not the Joker anymore, that cultist psychopath.
All right,
Uh,
damn, hit the honorable mentions.
and then the Wretched is just, it's like this witch that possesses people, and like one of the signs, plants die when she's around, and yeah, she's this kid's neighbor, and he's onto her. It's good. It's pretty typical low budget horror.
Typical. The kids are on to you, but no one else is.
Yeah, and then Palm Springs was an Andy Samberg Hulu movie, a
Hell
live die
yeah.
repeat type movie. And
Almost made the list. That'll be an honorable mention for both of us. That almost made my list.
there we go. All right, so there's my honorable mentions. So I guess I'll. You want me to just start with my top five then?
Yeah, jump into number five and we'll go back and forth.
So I said there's movies that probably wouldn't make this list any other year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the name of the game here.
Spencer Confidential is one of those movies.
Spencer Confidential at number five.
Uh,
Take us through it.
just a typical Boston crime movie. Mark Wahlberg,
Of course.
his ex Elisa Schlesinger is crazy. Man, this movie is not that good. It's funny though, and has some decent
Yeah,
action sequences. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's not too fresh in my mind, but it's 2020. This is the fifth best movie I saw.
absolutely. Well, to echo your echo your sentiments about movies that wouldn't make my top five of the year list in any other year. Coming in at number five is Borat subsequent movie film. When I
Oh,
Now this
yes.
was a big surprise that this was actually good. When I heard this was happening, I was just like kind of wincing, like, oh man, no, don't do this, man.
I
It's a
don't.
bad idea.
I
I thought
didn't.
it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a bummer, man.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
didn't
watch
know
it?
people even watched that movie outside of just sharing the Giuliani
Oh my God, yeah, I'll get into that.
meme.
Did you read my two-word summary of this movie?
I don't think so. I don't remember a two-word summary.
Very nice.
Damn it.
And the story was ridiculous. Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I tried to
Okay.
rewatch the first one. I wanted
Yeah,
Miranda to see it so that we could watch the second one together. You know, as though
right.
Bo Rat has some continuity that
Oh,
she has to
she
see
would
the
be
first
so
one.
lost. She could never do that. Why?
Yeah. Then she fell asleep, and suddenly I was alone watching Bo Rat, and I was just like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah, what am I doing? It's only so many hours. Even with the quarantine, why am I rewatching Borat?
Yeah, I
But
had to tune out around the time that he was doing the learning comedy scene. Not.
so the so the story's basically he has a daughter. He's back in Kazakhstan. He has to go. He has to go back to America. He gets sent back to America because apparently I think like the movie made Kazakhstan like a joke in America's eyes. So he has to go back and redeem Kazakhstan, and he has a daughter that's like I don't know, 14 years old, and she sneaks as a stowaway, and she goes with him. And basically, his plans are foiled to do what he has to do to regain America's love of Kazakhstan. So he comes up with the idea that he's gonna marry off his 14-year-old daughter to Mike Pence, offer her up to Mike Pence, and yeah, so that ensues. Man, the Maria Baklava is like a I forget where she's from, but she played the daughter. This was like one of her first roles, and man, she held her own, and she just went head to head with Sasha Baron Cohen. She was awesome. She was really, really good. She was hilarious. And just like the insane Trumpers and right wingers they meet and come across throughout the movie, of course, was insane.
See, that was
Um,
one of the parts that I was interested in, was seeing how he tackles like dealing with the the crazies right now. But
yeah,
even that,
that's the whole reason this was created, and I mean, thank God.
I don't know. I have a hard time imagining it being better than the election special that Triumph the Insult comic did on Hulu.
I did not see that, so I cannot compare. I have
Oh,
no basis.
it was like 2015, but like they have he did like fake focus group to test insane campaign ads, and these people
Yeah,
ate them up. Like one of
yeah,
them was
right.
porta potties that lock from the outside of work, like construction stores. I don't know why I'm drunk. Hardware stores, so that when the illegal immigrants are there looking for work, if they go to use the bathroom, they'll get locked in, and then they can put them on a truck and take them back across the
Send it
border.
back. Oh man.
And like the people were all about these ideas.
Yeah, no, he of course he comes across a lot of crazy motherfuckers. He almost gets killed a couple times.
Yeah, I did
He goes
hear
to a
he
couple
actually got
rallies.
into danger.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. He said he got hit, he got beat up a couple times through making this. But yeah, I won't spoil any of the particulars for you or for the audience who I'm sure have watched it. But it's up on Prime. I didn't think it would be, but I watched it one Friday night where I was pretty wiped out after work, and it was it rang in the weekend pretty well for me. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, his co-host or his co-star, that his daughter was awesome. I was surprised anyone was able to hold their own with him, but he did a great job. And yeah, the Giuliani scene, man, holy shit, that made the movie fucking worth it. That was unbelievable. He literally talk about catching someone with their pants down, man. He had his hand fucking down his pants. He was on the bed like he was a turtle on his back. It was unbelievable. I feel like it was just the beginning of his fucking, downfall. Him going even more and more crazy with, the once the election came. But yeah, he made him look like a fucking crazy pedophile nutcase. And it
Just
was
the
wild.
timing of it as he was starting to go on about Hunter Biden's laptop and stuff
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Yeah, but yeah, man, it is so funny because just the fact that he got to know that was Sacha Baron Cohen behind that whole thing. It was fucking really funny. But he was creepy the whole time. Basically the daughter was like acting like she was interviewing him for a news network, and she was all made up and shit. Of it, she got made up to look better for Mike Pence throughout the movie. But yeah, man, he was all about it. It was disgusting.
Oh, Rudy.
Yeah, and that's what Sacha Baron Cohen was. He was great, man. He was like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be right behind this fucking door in case this goes too far. So that was really cool
Yeah.
of him. So yeah, the interviews with those two are really fucking funny. But yeah, I digress. In a time where comedy is needed, that was a great one. So I'll throw it back to you for your number four.
All right, number four. This is a Shudder original. I tried to not do all horror because that is most of what I saw this year. Because Shudder kept putting movies up.
My over under for your Shutter originals for your year end list was 3. So
Well, it's only 2.
nice.
Yeah, I I made it a point to keep it there.
Go
But
for it.
yeah, Host. It was basically the whole thing is done on webcams. Like the whole movie is like takes place on a computer screen.
Yeah, I heard great stuff about this. It was like the first COVID movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're all like doing Zoom calls all the time and stuff because of the pandemic. And the one girl has a friend that does seances and stuff, so they decide to do a seance over Zoom. One of the girls isn't taking it seriously, and they end up unleashing something. And then you just watch one by one things start going on. It's crazy how well done and actually tense they made it. I like some of the touches, like at the end, when the video call ends, the credits are like they open up like a file and just kind of scroll through it, and that's the credits. So they
That's
really
cool.
stuck to the whole like everything on a computer screen.
Yeah,
There's no
I got
score or anything.
nice. Yeah, I got recommended this by a lot of people. Said it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's short. I think it was like a little over an hour. So
Oh
I
wow,
just
nice.
I just
I'll
had like an hour of the house to myself one night and put it on, and yeah, it's a good
I'll,
movie.
I'll have to hop on Shutter and check that one out. Probably be one of the first ones I watch for sure.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
I mean that's another 2020 thing, like a webcam movie making my top 5. But I mean,
Right.
even any year, I'm not a big fan of like found footage stuff, but when it's done right, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Of course. I'm just always like there's. I just always assume it's played out and it can't be done good. But once in a blue moon, yeah. But I've heard solid stuff, and as soon as I have access to watch that, I definitely will. All right, coming in for my number four, I have The Social Dilemma. This was a documentary.
I've been meaning to
I don't
watch
know.
this one.
Yeah, so you know about it. Just
Yeah.
a documentary on Netflix original, exploring like the dangerous and negative impact of just social networking. Kaylee put this on. I wasn't she must have put it on the weekend it came out, and I wasn't fully aware you know about it before its release. But we're sitting there watching it, and then the crazy part of it is it's filled with interviews with these tech experts that are involved in the creation of these platforms, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they're basically sounding the alarm on their own creations, which I was surprised. That was obviously the hook for me
Yeah.
to hear from the inside to hear that shit, and it was just disturbing and like an in-depth look at an analysis on how these platforms and work, how they prey on people at certain times of the day. They'll hold likes till later in the day, and then just the subconscious desires, like when you think about like, oh my god, I just picked up my phone and went on Facebook, I didn't even realize what I was doing. It goes into all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shockingly, the companies that gather all of our information and sell it turn out to be a
Yeah.
bit nefarious.
Right. Who would have thought? Yeah, it was
I
just
had no idea.
it's like what I was thinking when I was thinking about this movie and realized it was gonna crack my list for this. I just said this was like super upsetting to watch, but fantastic at the same time. And I hope it just wasn't something people watched and didn't think about again. I hope it opened some eyes. I remember it was funny on the day of like we watched it, and then maybe like the day that the election wrapped up, we were at a restaurant on a patio, and I just overheard like a bunch of girls talking about this next to me and how like crazy it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I hope a lot of people watch it and hopefully kind of realize what's going on behind the scenes with this shit.
I'd assume it's pretty good because it kind of fell into that territory a lot like Tiger King of one of those documentaries that like every podcast I listened to, once everyone had seen it, they all talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Netflix phenomenal.
it,
Yeah, I
it
hope it gets as big as Tiger King. It certainly should.
yeah, it's gotten a lot of play from being discussed on referenced on like every podcast I've ever heard.
Yeah, Pete from Mad Men was randomly in there. I don't know why.
I have
That was
not
strange.
watched Mad Men.
Do it.
I watched
Third,
one episode once and I liked it. I just never got back to
yeah,
it.
third best series of all time.
Third best. What are the
All
other
right,
two?
Sopranos and Wire, and then Mad Men.
Haven't watched The Sopranos either. I love The
You gotta,
Wire.
you gotta do that. Yeah, that's. I don't even know what to say to you.
Have you watched Oz?
No,
You need to watch that. There's a lot of
that's all.
penis, but once you get past that, it's really good.
That's always on the list of will this be the next series?
It's worth finally getting into. It's a real good one.
We're watching The Americans now. I never did that
I
one.
watched season one of that, and
Yeah,
in my old apartment, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and I came across it for like $3.50 on DVD. I
yeah,
never rewatched season one, but yeah, that's a really good show.
yeah. We're like mid season two. It was pretty solid. Cool spy shit. But anyways, getting back to movies
Oh
and
yeah.
talking third best series of all time, I'm gonna send it back to you for your number three.
My number three. This is another Shutter original. I've mentioned this one before, but Random Acts of Violence. Jay Baruchel's
Yeah, you
first
brought this
horror
up, I believe,
director.
on our you brought this one up on our Halloween episode.
Yep. Um, it's just really good. Uh, yeah, basically, he's the main character. Is he makes this? I guess that would spoil it. He makes this horror comic about a serial killer who does like to him like the way he kills. He sees it as like art, and so like like the way he'll pose bodies after and stuff. And as he's on tour, he's finally like in the series. He's wrapping up his comic, and there's a lot of or he's writing the last issue, and he goes on kind of a road trip where he's making appearances. There's a lot of controversy around him. People who have a problem with him even having the ideas that he puts in his comics. And so that's kind of a thing, like just people kind of protesting him the whole time and thinking that, the classic, like, this is going to inspire other people to do these things. But, yeah, so eventually someone does start doing killings and killing people around him and, like, recreating scenes from his comic.
So a bit of a commentary on censorship, a little bit. It seems like maybe somewhat.
That, but also it's kind of like a commentary on the censorship, but at the same time, like the responsibility of an artist to
Yeah.
recognize how their work will be taken. I personally fall towards like it's not your job or it's not your fault if someone takes your work the wrong way.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I've said like I don't know, I'd love a They Make or a They Live remake, but like that's a movie. It would basically be a guy. It would be like a conspiracy theorist going on a shooting spree. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe not something
might not
the
be a
country
good look
needs
in
right now.
2020.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, Random Acts of Violence was my number 3 and my favorite horror movie of the year.
Nice. That's big time.
Yeah.
All right. Coming back to me for my number 3, I have The Vast of Night, which is a Amazon Prime original. This is a sci-fi period piece. It was set in the late 1950s in New Mexico, a small town in New Mexico. It's basically about a switchboard operator and a radio DJ discover like strange audio frequencies, and they basically just decide to investigate what's going on. This is every review and every review and everyone I heard talked about it says this is very Twilight Zone esque, and I certainly agree with that. It was a different type of sci-fi film. It was it was an intimate film. It was like about small town abduction. I always like horror sci-fi set in a small town. That's always like a good setting for me. I always like that. This was pretty much like a slow burn. It's takes a while to get going, but it is really good. The director is Andrew Patterson. This is his first movie he made. This was made on like a super micro budget. I saw it. I saw it referred to as like lo-fi modern sci-fi. It was like a lo-fi modern sci-fi classic. I saw someone call it, and I thought that was great, so I marked that. Um, but yeah, the cinematography in this was it was cool. There was a lot of long takes that would be like 9.5, 10 minute scenes of them just running around either the town or the radio station, trying to do some research and figure out what the hell is going on. And this movie it pays homage to I guess like 1950 sci-fi classics. The cool thing about this movie that stood out the most to me is it pays that homage to old sci-fi movies, but at the same time it's like super original. So I'm really interested to see what this dude would maybe come out with next. But he's a first time director. This movie kind of came out of nowhere, and it was a super small movie, but it got got a lot of people talking about it, and I did really enjoy it too.
What was that called again?
So that's The Vast of Night.
Okay, yeah, I actually didn't even like that one didn't come across my radar at all.
Yeah, right. It's like low key, but at the same time getting a lot of praise. They're talking about it winning the Golden Brick on Film Spotting, which is like the best new director, like best like low budget movie made by a new director and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was really good, and I think that's something you might enjoy. It might be worth you taking a look at. It's not super alien. There's not a lot of action, but it's just cool. It's a lot of suspense, and it's a different type of sci-fi movie. But it gets the praise it deserves. Luckily for such a small movie.
I don't know why. Just Amazon stuff tends to go under my radar. There's a bunch of shows on there that I like. I mean, I've watched The Boys. Miranda loved Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh, that's the
But
fucking best.
there,
Do you
there,
not watch?
I haven't watched it yet. I've been told that I need to, like specifically that I need to.
Yeah, that might I if I had to if I could request a season to be done and put out of a ongoing show right now for COVID, that might be it, man.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of good stuff on Amazon. I just maybe it's because I use my sister's and it's the one thing I don't pay for. Maybe I just
Yeah.
go to the ones that I actually pay to use first.
Right?
But,
You don't think?
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out if you're looking for something and don't know what to watch. It's definitely worth taking a look at.
Oh, thank
All right,
God. For a second, Dolomite is my name popped into my head, and I was like, I can't believe I forgot that. So I had to go back and make sure that didn't come out this year.
Yeah, that was last year.
That would have shook up my list. I also had to check to make sure that Random Acts of Violence was in fact a 2020 movie.
Yeah, it's weird. So when I initially made this list, this movie, The Vast of Night, it's it's put on like IMDb. IMDb is 2019.
Mm.
It was made in 2019 and finished, but then it was released on Amazon in 2020. So
Yeah, it
so
maybe
I
like
and
probably
on
hit some festivals in 2019 or something.
right. Yeah, and a lot of countdown shows I saw in list, it was on there. So I said, hey, it's good enough to if they're considering it, then I'm considering it 2020 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
All right.
allow it.
Yeah. All right. Good. Number two.
Number two, man, David Spade has done some really bad movies, but when he's funny, it's great. The
What the
Wrong
fuck?
Missy on Netflix.
What the fuck is that?
Basically, David Spade, he plays a guy who his wife left him and married someone else, or is dating someone else. I think they're just dating. I don't know. His wife left him. He's just a lonely loser that is entirely too committed to his job. And at the beginning, he gets set up on a blind date, and it's Lauren Lapkus, and
Okay.
she's just crazy to the point that he breaks both ankles trying to escape out the bathroom window. And so her name was Missy. Then he's at the airport. He bumps into a girl. They have the same bag, and they both have this. They're both reading the same book, and they end up like making out in a janitor's closet at the airport. He gets her number, and when he goes to text her, he texts the wrong
The
Missy.
wrong Missy.
Yeah.
No.
And so there's a big company retreat coming up that he's going to, and this girl was like a Miss whatever state and stuff, like Miss Maryland or whatever. I don't know why I thought Maryland.
Yeah.
Miss Maryland doesn't even sound hot.
That's our that's our screenplay we're writing next.
Miss Maryland.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, it'll be like The Wire meets Miss Congeniality. It'll be great. But yeah, so he makes plans for her to come on the trip, and then Lauren Lapkus's character shows up on the plane, and she's just insane, and throughout the whole thing keeps getting him into crazy situations until he realizes that he loves her. It's man,
He falls in love with the wrong Missy.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. This was like I was laughing until it hurt. It's admittedly really stupid, cheap humor, but it keeps coming
Yeah.
the entire time, and it's
But
so over the top.
when one of those hit you for some reason, it's the fucking best. I got you.
Yeah, I might be the only person putting this in a top 5 list in the entire world, but I
You
stand
might
by
be.
it.
That's why you're the co-host of this show.
Yeah.
Now, my number two is very similar to what was it called? The Wrong Missy.
Yeah.
The Wrong Missy. Very on the same beat here. My number two is The Trial of the Chicago Seven.
Oh yeah, they're very similar. Did that have
All
Lauren
right.
Lapkus and David Spade as well? I think.
All right, this is the story of 7 people on trial stemming from various charges surrounding the uprising at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois. Um, this was interesting. You know, I knew about how crazy the 1968 DNC was and everything, but I didn't know much about the particular people themselves really. So this was cool. And of course, the main reason this was an anticipated movie was this was Aaron Sorkin writing and directing, the king of dialogue. It was well done, and it was a well done and fun courtroom drama, I'd say. Um, Very socially relevant, obviously, in today's age where there's unfortunately has to be a lot of um, large protests against police violence and activities regularly. Um, Sasha Baron Cohen pretty much proved to me in this movie that he's actually can be a serious actor. He depicted Abby Hoffman, who was one of the major players in this movie, in this
Sweeney Todd
story.
didn't do that for you?
Was he in that? I've never seen Sweeney Todd.
He's in a part where he's like he's like a street vendor selling some like sort of hygiene tonic, and they have like a competition to see who gives the better shave faster, and it's like a sing off.
Yeah, I didn't know how many actual like serious movies he's done before this one, so I'm gonna have to revert back. But I don't know, man. The more and more I see this, makes me just more and more want to see Sacha Baron Cohen's Queen movie.
Oh,
So that was a bummer.
Yeah, I would have actually seen it if they had gone with him.
Yeah. But... So that sucks. But anyways, yeah, he was great as Abbie Hoffman. He was funny, and he did a solid job in this serious movie. Eddie Redmayne, I don't know if you know who he was. He was awesome. He was Tom Hayden, who was like one of the main organizers of this of the movement, and going down there to Chicago. He was really, really good. I'm looking for some hopefully nominations for him. Joseph Gordon-Levitt played like a young prosecutor who they kind of let run with this case. He was fantastic too. I think this is gonna. I think there will be various award nominations when the announcements come out for this. I thought it was going to be good, but it was for a long time. I was considering this. You know, in the back of my mind, I had going list throughout the year of my favorite movies, and this was on top for quite some time. It was serious at the same time. It was really comedic and good, and it was just a story of the struggle of justice, which is always, you know, a good movie to be made. Sorkin did a really good job not only writing this but directing this as well.
Did you know that Sacha Baron Cohen was in Les Miserables?
No, I did not.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but I did not expect that.
Huh. Are you on his page now?
Yeah. I'm trying to scroll. There isn't a lot of serious stuff here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing more and more of him. My question is, so he's on 2 of my 5 movies of the year. Is Sacha Baron Cohen the man of the year?
The breakout star of 2020, Sacha Baron Cohen.
Not even saying the breakout, but is he Exit Music for a Film's man of the year here? Shit.
I think he might as well be.
He did a lot for the social justice this year between these 2 roles.
Yeah, right up until Phil, 2021, where Man of the Year is going to be Teddy Bluger.
Number 2.
This is number 1.
Oh, number 1, right? Shit, I'm sorry.
Number 1, no surprise for me, King of Staten Island.
Yo, King of Staten Island, number 1.
Yep.
Wow. Big Bill Burr fan, no.
Yeah.
Wow. That was an honorable mention of mine as well. That and Palm Springs, I was those 2 before Borat came out. Those 2 were fighting for the number 5 spot there.
Until Borat came and stole the show.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I really like this movie. It's got that Judd Apatow. Like, it's funny, but it's got a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, exactly.
From what I gather, it's a pretty accurate portrayal of like people that age and like life on Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just it would be kind of hard to give a summary because it's one of those movies. I mean, other than like the whole like with learning to get along with his mom's boyfriend, doesn't necessarily have a plot. Like, there's no beginning to end other than, like, just people learning to get along.
Yeah, that's a plot itself. One of my favorite podcasts and podcasters said that this could have been a movie without Pete Davidson. It could have just been about those 2 meeting, even. Yeah. And just that relationship, which I agree, it's an interesting take, but I agree with that. And, yeah, I thought Bill Burr was really good. There were times where I was able to, put put him aside and take him seriously
Yeah, I'm
as
actually.
a
I gotta
firefighter.
nominate him for our Man of the Year. His SNL
Yeah,
episode, The Mandalorian.
nah,
Oh shit.
you have a case there.
Yeah.
No, I know he's. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I just remembered
yeah.
that you weren't
No.
caught up.
Now I couldn't take him out of seeing him in Star Wars. That was harder for me.
See, what's funny is, having listened to his podcast forever, Bill Burr has been making fun of Star Wars for years
Yeah,
and calling Star Wars fans fucking nerds.
yeah, that's so funny.
He doesn't like Star. Well, and he said, like, I guess this is the case with most things he does, but he doesn't watch his episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
His wife was watching and called him in, and he watched that one scene. There was one scene that he wanted to see how it came out. That's all
right.
he really watched of it, and then let his wife watch it by herself.
Yeah.
Uh,
So did you like Pete Davidson in this?
yeah,
Do
I
you do you
thought.
like Pete Davidson in general?
See, I liked Pete Davidson because I can't remember. There's another movie he's in where he also plays like a young adult fuck up.
Yeah, that's just him. That's just his whole fucking thing.
Yeah, God, I cannot remember what it was called, but I watched that,
Oh, I know what it is.
like
Yeah, I
Grown
like.
Adolescence or something.
Shit, yeah, we watched that came out late 2019, and you know what? I liked that movie better than this one.
Really?
And that was like,
Big
yeah,
time
that was
adolescence.
big time adolescence. I felt worse for him in that than this.
I
It was
mean,
just
yeah,
like there was no change at the end. That kid just left for college and was just like, fuck, this dude's gonna be. I'm gonna see this guy in 10, 15 years doing the same thing.
yeah. Well, he did get a job at the burger place. That
Yeah,
that was character growth, and that was the end of that arc for him. But no, that's the thing is like he in this movie he really does at the end like he's pulling it together. It seems like he's gonna be a
yeah,
fireman. He
yeah,
stops being
absolutely. No, it
shitty to
was
that
good.
girl.
Yeah, it was good, and like you said, it did have it did the Judd Apatow trademark. It had the heart, and I like how he just picks his guys. Like he's just like no, that like he did Crashing with Pete Holmes, and he's just like he knows how to pick his leading men as these guys that don't seem like they should be leading men, but they have heart to them.
Well, and for me,
He,
hoping that
he,
Bill Burr starts to get more roles, Judd Apatow reuses a lot of actors. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that this means like the next movie will be Seth Rogen and Bill Burr with Paul Rudd.
yeah. He was solid. He was solid in that, and it was touching, like how the guys took him in at the fire station and everything.
Yeah.
Surprising Buscemi was in there, that small role, but so yeah, I like that they took him in and he like stayed there for a while, and he like learned about his dad through them. Obviously, that was pretty autobiographical. I don't know if he wrote it as well with Judd, or just basically Judd transcribed his life into this script. But
It's a
yeah, it
little
was
bit of both. Like it's
yeah,
based on Pete Davidson's life, but
yeah,
like
very much. Yeah,
obviously in the movie his dad died in the fire as opposed to dying fighting fires in 9/11. But
oh, did he not die in 9/11 in the movie?
no, he died just I think it was like he tried to save an extra person or something.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, they
actually
didn't
I
make that.
saw this one back when it came out, so it's not super fresh, like details like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We rented it the week it came out too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
All right. Yeah.
F is
No.
for Family, another great season. Yeah, Bill Burr's Man of the Year.
Here you go. Agree to disagree, but yeah, I'll take that as a number one. Sure. All right, and finally, for my number one and the 2020 Rosebud winner for Movie of the Year for Exit Music for a Film is a movie that Phil must have forgot about because it would have certainly been his number one. I'm giving it to Mank.
I knew
What
it.
else than Mank for the Rosebud winner? I have to give it to Mank. Now, Now, this was our last episode, so I'm not going to harp on all the great stuff I enjoyed about Mank again. As I said, I love movies about the filmmaking industry. Trivia, this is the second movie in 2 years of this podcast going that won the Rosebud that is, in fact, about the movie making process in the industry.
What was it last year?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of course.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. That's a much better pick than this one.
Very interesting story covering one of the biggest controversies in Hollywood's history. I love that Fincher finally followed through on making this passion project and it capitalized on the script written by his late father, Jack Fincher. I loved all the parallels that we talked about last time to present day, including the political controversies and the uncertainty about the future of Hollywood and the film industry. Number of solid performances. This along with the Trial of the Chicago 7 is a definitely going to be a movie to be reckoned with once Oscar time rolls around, I think. Phil, tell us what you loved once again about Mank.
I liked when the credits rolled and I realized I made it.
You could get up.
I kind of wonder now that like just making movies about people who make movies is on the table. I wonder how long before we get the biopic Harvey and what kind of shit show that's gonna be.
Oh, don't laugh. That'll be a thing. That'll probably be a series. But, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a bit here. It'll happen.
Like... Yeah, who's going to play him? Right now, you have to cast him. Who's playing him?
Oh, man. A grown-up, that dude that was the fat Nazi kid in American History X, one of Edward Norton's old buddies.
Holy shit.
The guy that plays an absolute piece of shit in everything he's in.
Oh, that dude, yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking
same
up
guy
his
that plays
name. He was a bully in
Mallrats,
Boy
right?
Meets World.
Is he the dude in Mallrats that can't see the sailboat?
Yeah. The guy that can't see the sailboat. I think it would have to be him. He just plays a scumbag so well.
Wow. That's the last thing I would have guessed. I want to say his first name's like Preston something. I don't know.
Ethan Suplee.
I wouldn't even know. Ethan Suplee, that's it. He was in a lot of shit, yeah. We're probably forgetting a lot of stuff, but yeah, he's a that guy.
Oh, he was also in The Hunt, which is a movie I've been wanting to see.
What is he, scumbag number 3?
He is... It looks like his name is Shut the Fuck Up.
Is that real?
He must have a lot. It says, in parentheses, shut the fuck up, and then just says Gary. So I'm guessing he plays a guy named Gary whose only line is shut the fuck up. Probably a scumbag. No, but listen to this cast. Betty Gilpin from Glow, which I'm so sad that was canceled.
Is that Miss America or whatever her name is? Liberty Bell?
Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, her, Hilary Swank. I can't remember on The Office. Oh, they determined she is hot on The Office after much debate.
She was the perfect candidate for that game. That was it. That was like interesting.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
One of those things like that movie about the genie that Shaq's in or whatever, where you think it's a movie.
The Mandela
That's
effect.
one of those That's one of those things.
I hate the Mandela effect. It's just a bunch of people not wanting to admit that they don't know how to spell. So they say it used to be spelled different.
Who else is in this cast?
Ike Barinholtz.
Okay.
Wayne Duvall, Ethan Suplee, Emma Roberts, Christopher Berry, Sturgill Simpson.
Huh.
That's in The Hunt.
Yeah.
Reed Birney, who I believe he is like the bad guy CIA. Yep, he was Tom Connolly in The Blacklist. So yeah, The Hunt looks really good. That's one of the movies I've been meaning to see.
It's out already? Was it a this year movie?
Yeah, it was. It didn't seem to get too much. It got 6.5 out of 10 stars on IMDb, 50 for a Metascore.
Interesting.
Yeah, not great numbers, but that's kind of what I expect from horror.
No, the wrong Missy, tell you.
You've got to see that movie, man. It's so funny.
Oh fuck. All right, man. In wrapping up, how would you, movie wise, how do you how do you ra- how do you rank 2020 movie wise? Good, okay, bad. What do you think? Like all
um,
in all,
I mean, it's just I feel like we missed a lot of movies that
right? But
movies
again,
didn't have that chance to get noticed when they're on $5 Tuesdays and stuff that we usually have.
yeah. Again, we take it with a grain of salt, so we can't really say we're gonna do an episode of maybe April or so where we're just gonna revisit and see what we missed, basically, in 2021. But as far as I'm going, I didn't like this movie year. Nothing like moved me super heavily. There wasn't a movie I was obsessed with. Nothing just really blew me away. I really liked Mank. I did. I really liked Trial of the Chicago Seven, but there was nothing that like blew me away. And again, a lot of that is with missing a lot of the major players, not being able to get to see everything. But also at the same time, as this could be total bullshit, but I like to think like after a year such as 2019, which my big take is 2019 is my 1999, where people say 1999 was like the greatest movie year. I think 2019 is one of, if not the best movie year of my lifetime so far. And I think like 5, 10 years down the line, people are going to start coming around to that.
Yeah.
And after such an insane year, I think it's hard to follow that up. So I think that's part of it, and then along with just the fucking sheer craziness and not seeing everything we should have seen in order to be qualified to do this episode here, I'm just saying bad year, and hopefully we'll get a better movie year in 2021. Even with the stuff that got placed on the back burner that was supposed to come out this year. A lot of back in the beginning of this year or late this time last year, I did a top most anticipated of 2020, and maybe like 3 of those didn't even make it out. So I'm very interested to see what 2021 is going to bring us, and what things are going to look like. We've discussed, not on the show, but I mean now we can, basically the Warner Brothers dump to HBO Max. I have to get my access to HBO Max, which I'm certainly doing. But Warner Brothers, and then I think
I got that code for a free month when I bought that fucking video game that doesn't work on my console.
yeah. So I'll have to get HBO Max because Warner Brothers is dumping all of their movies that were supposed to come out in 2021 just straight onto HBO Max.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 is on there. I haven't watched it
yet. Yeah, that came out Christmas Day.
I've heard very few good things.
So I still have yet to see the first one. I haven't got to see the first one. I really want to. 84 looks good. I just don't buy what's her name as a villain. I can't. That was a terrible pick.
Oh, who is it again?
Kristen Wiig from SNL. I can't buy it. That was like a horrible pick in my opinion. I'm not gonna be able to take her seriously.
You don't think
but yeah,
the chick from Bridesmaids can go up against a superhero?
Absolutely not, and she annoys me half the time. I don't.
Oh, I love Kristen Wiig. That's why I can't see her as a villain.
She just hosted SNL for the holiday
Christmas special, yeah.
She was pretty good. She's funny, man. She really is. But some shit she does just annoys me. I don't know. She's not like the best.
Yeah, she's not a very imposing figure.
Yeah. I'm very confused as to why or how they casted her when they came up with this. But I'll get to this. I hope to watch. Wonder Woman's been moving back and forth on the streaming services. I got to catch up with that first one. I feel it gets a lot of good talk. So I'm gonna make sure I watch that one, and then I'm gonna watch Wonder Woman 84 for sure. And yeah, it's interesting. All these movies going to HBO Max. None of which are like that I can remember are like real heavy hitters for Warner Brothers. I'm sure there are, but
Well, there's gonna be the Snyder cut of Justice League.
of course the Snyder Cut, the infamous
I,
Snyder
I
Cut.
don't know why we're so sure that Snyder cut doesn't suck too, because Zack
That's
Snyder's
what
made a
everyone
lot
said.
of
Yeah,
pieces of shit.
yeah, yeah. That's what everyone that knows anything is saying. So
One of my
don't hold your
favorite
breath.
movies from him is Sucker Punch, and it's, you know, I enjoy sitting back and watching it and just all the ridiculous action, but like it's not like a good movie. It would have
Right.
probably made my list if it came out this year, but that's a
In
different
any other year,
conversation.
yeah. Right. So it's interesting, and we won't touch on it now. We'll probably will if you're up for it. Do a top five most anticipated 2021 early in the new year. But yeah, hopefully we just get bombarded with new movies, stuff left over from last year that was supposed to come out, and hopefully things get in order, and movies that are set to come out are able to actually come out. And what do you think for the theater experience, man? What's your projections? Do you think we'll be back in the theater in 2021, or do
I think
you
people
already
might
saying
be
no?
able to go to the theaters in limited capacity here already.
Jesus Christ, Iowa.
Iowa's fucking dumb, man. we
That's awesome.
like
Yeah,
tonight I might actually well I walk my dog and I see like what bars are empty. So sometimes
yeah.
I'll go sit at like an empty bar if one of my friends is bartending. So I have a fantasy hockey draft tonight. So I might end up going to a bar for a little bit at 10.
Who's your first pick tonight, Phil?
Teddy Bluger, man. He's about to put Latvia on the map, all right?
Oh man, so
No,
yeah,
I don't even know what order we're drafting. At this point, I might be able to get, especially because people tend to hate the Penguins. So with
yeah,
Sid falling, between the fact that his numbers are dropping off and that people hate him, he might fall down to where I could get him.
yeah. I'd say maybe top four. You might have a chance at him.
Yeah, if I had the number one pick, I'd be going for either of the 1-2 punch in Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah,
Because Kucherov is out for the year, so that's I'd
right.
say the big three scoring threats. So we'll see.
Shout out.
This year's weird. We have a salary cap. It's a keeper league, and it's gonna be weird. You don't know who's gonna be in and out with illness.
Is this with the hockey hangover, homies?
Yeah, no, none of them are in it. We changed the name. It's Homertown Hockey now.
Okay, want to shout it out? Let people know your other podcast.
Yeah, I guess we start. We were supposed to do 2 division episodes to release throughout the week today, but one of my co-hosts is a bartender and had a walk-in 20 top with no advance notice, so we are delayed. And the other one is a Packers fan, so we don't have time between when he gets home from work to record both episodes tonight. That's unfolded as we've been recording.
Finally, a decent Sunday night football game.
But yeah, the same day that you're listening to this, one of our division previews should be out. We'll be doing 4 over the next 2 weeks, and then the Sunday before the regular season, doing our just like postseason predictions, awards predictions, and hot takes type stuff.
And the name of that again?
Homertown Hockey, but we are working on the social media presence.
Where could they find your episodes?
YouTube. And
right.
there is a segment in Canada called Hometown Hockey. So it's not easy to find us there either. We're working on our internet presence.
Oh hey, listen, we're competing with fucking Radiohead on YouTube, so
yeah.
So you're better off. You're better off than us.
Yeah, our biggest rival, Radiohead.
To wrap this up, I'm gonna say I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm gonna say sometime. Hopefully, obviously this depends on fucking everything that's going on right now. Hopefully, this vaccine gets rolled out. I mean, it's going to be quite some time for everything to get going, but
Yeah, but Ken, they're gonna put tracking devices in us.
oh, with that being said, I'm going to say, mid to late summer slash fall, and
Midsummer.
that's being cautiously and hopeful and optimistic.
Yeah,
Midsummer, I'll say midsummer.
yeah. I needed to hurry up so that we can have like a regular deck hockey season out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out of shape as shit. I need to get back to the deck and start running.
You and me both. All right, guys. For exit music for a film, this has been Ken.
And I'm Phil. I didn't know
Yeah,
how we were
dude,
doing this.
you're getting there, dude. You're learning, baby.
I
We'll see
officially
you.
learned how to say my name on the podcast.
Dude, those lessons have been going so good. I told you not to get discouraged. And we'll see you in 21. We'll see you in 2021 for a better movie year. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.